Scotty, man, when I read just your resume, your bio, I was blown away. It's incredible. I mean, you are the greatest in history. 4 U.S. National Figure Skating Championships, 4 World Figure Skating Championships, an Olympic gold medal in figure skating. You are incredible. Scott Hamilton, you are a hero. What? Huh? Scotty Bowman?
Welcome to the Jamie Daniels Foundation Roast of Scotty Bowman, featuring appearances by Jack Nicklaus, Nick Lidstrom, Jim Devellano, Mickey Redmond, Jim Leland, Wayne Gretzky.
I know you're honoring a great icon in Scotty Bowman, and I started to think what I could say. How many wins did he have in the regular season? How many wins did he have in the playoffs? How many Stanley Cups did he win? And I couldn't figure it out, so I just decided to say the most, and the most.
Brendan Shanahan, Dominic Hasek, Mitch Albom, Doc Emmerich, Jeff Daniels, Glenn Hall. From the Good Doctor, Detroit native Hill Harper, Freddie Highmore.
First off, I wanted to apologise for this lockdown look, and more importantly, say that though this fundraiser is obviously very different this year, the message is still just as meaningful and necessary. We must help end the stigma surrounding substance use disorder. And so here is to the Jamie Daniels Foundation for doing just that. Thank you.
Red Berenson, Darren McCarty, Larry Robinson, Joe Buck, Ken Dryden, J.K. Simmons, Dick Vitale, Stu Grimson, a musical performance from Stephen Page. Our roasters, Dennis Hull, Ian Bagg, and Jerry D.
Thank you so much for allowing us into your homes and joining the conversation to end the shame and stigma of addiction that can preclude recovery. So cry with us and laugh with us. My name is Ken Daniels, Jamie's dad, and Arlen's too. She misses her big brother every day, as do we all. And for nearly a quarter century, with Mickey Redmond, I've been calling televised Detroit Red Wings hockey. And speaking of a long time, as you'll see tonight, Scotty Bowman just turned 87. Looks amazing. But he is also the only man constantly followed by archaeologists. As a 10-year-old, I dreamed of doing NHL play-by-play. I've lived that dream. Then the nightmare that no family should live. But too many do. 2.5 million Americans suffer from substance use disorder, often starting from a prescription medication. That's why you hear of massive lawsuits going after the pharmaceutical industry and convictions of doctors who are pill pushers for profit. And in the time you are with us tonight, another 10 families will lose a son, daughter, brother, sister, mother, father. Our beautiful son Jamie used to say when I was antsy in the off-season, but there has never been an off-season like this one, "Dad, you need a summer job." Unfortunately, he gave me one. December 7, 2016, we learned then the true meaning of a devastating loss. Following 7 months of sobriety, Jamie had been patient brokered in Florida when Jamie was most vulnerable, but the seedy, greedy side of the recovery business didn't care. Profits mattered more than human life. But through our pain, our family has discovered ourselves and our inner voice and strength. In just over 2 years, the Jamie Daniels Foundation has made a huge difference in the lives of those battling substance use disorder, and we will continue to do so with your help tonight. The Jamie Daniels Memorial Scholarship has been established at Michigan State University, and we're hoping other collegiate institutions will join in our recovery efforts. We are making great strides toward building long-term, safe, affordable housing of 80 units here in Southeast Michigan in Jamie's memory. We ask not for sympathy, but for empathy, the highest form of knowledge. It comes without judgment, without judging what you might think someone with an addiction should look like. Our son loved to laugh. It was infectious. To that end, we hope you laugh lots tonight as we pay tribute to the greatest coach in NHL history. We also hope that you help in any way possible. We fully understand the economic circumstances we are facing. That is unavoidable right now. But to our many sponsors, including our presenting sponsor, Delta Dental, for a second straight year, our deep gratitude. And to our celebrities, whom you'll hear from, who took the time to record messages, a huge thank you. And to all of you who helped me reach out to them, you went above and beyond. Year 2 of this roast, and the best 2 masters of ceremony I can think of. Last year, for Mickey Redmond, it was Mike Emmerich, whom we'll hear from later. And now, Dave Hodge, who set the television standard for hosting hockey. When I was in my mid-20s anchoring late-night sports on CBC television in Toronto, Dave got himself fired from Hockey Night in Canada by sticking up for his beliefs on air. And had he not thrown his pen in disgust, I likely wouldn't have had my chance at Hockey Night in Canada. So Dave, thank you for being so darn principled. And thank you for leading us through this night of giving and the roast of Scotty Bowman.
Thank you, Ken. For the Jamie Daniels Foundation's fight against the other pandemic, the opioid crisis, and its fight for justice in Jamie's case, we required a special site to take the place of the usual gathering of friends and supporters in person in Detroit. For the roast of Scotty Bowman, it's a roast, any place might do, but we thought we might dig up some information on Mr. Bowman at the Hockey Hall of Fame. Welcome to it. We hope we can make you laugh. We hope we can make you think and care and give, for there are far too many others who may suffer Jamie's fate. A needless death, death too young, far, far too many others. There are no others like Scotty Bowman, the winningest coach in NHL history. Yet again, it's a roast, so who really cares? He will receive no special treatment here like he used to get from the referees. We all know how he used to work those poor guys, have them eating out of his hand. We'll see how he handles what comes at him here at the Jamie Daniels Foundation roast of Scotty Bowman. Most important is a very special silent auction. Bidding is now open at jamiedanielsfoundation.org and live until noon Eastern tomorrow, October 15th. You may simply make a donation or bid on celebrity golf opportunities, stay and play packages, unique travel experiences, and a variety of sports memorabilia. We'll have a great time and hope you do too. There are too many stars to count, major stars from beyond the sports world like this guy, whose Oscar-winning performance in Whiplash must have made Scotty Bowman jealous.
Hi, I'm J.K. Simmons. It's wonderful that the Jamie Daniels Foundation is continuing this vital conversation. 90% of those addicted to prescription meds, opioids, began using before the age of 18. There are 2 things we can all do. First, please properly dispose of any unused medications in your home. And second, please donate tonight so the Jamie Daniels Foundation can continue their excellent work in helping those who are suffering, who are fighting through their recovery. Thank you.
For all the fun that we're having at Scotty Bowman's expense, this is such a critical thing. And so thanks so much to the Jamie Daniels Foundation for doing such important work, and for all of you for helping to raise money for such an important cause.
One might call what you will see during this show trivia, but there's nothing trivial about the subject matter. So without trying to make it anything other than it is, you will be hearing questions you might ask and answers you should know. Jamie Daniels fell victim to patient brokering while in recovery in Florida. What is patient brokering? Patient brokering is an illegal practice used by some rehab facilities to pay a third party to procure patients for them. While at their most vulnerable, addicted people and their families are talked into believing that the facility is acting in their best interests, when in reality, they're in it for financial gain.
Scotty, you were a terrific coach, a great leader for our team, and we had a lot of success together. But we also had a lot of fun having you as a coach. Remember the one time the play is going down in one end and Barry Smith is standing next to you and you're looking up at the other side asking Barry, who the is in my seats? This is during a game, which was a lot of fun on the bench. Another time you were catching Thomas Holmstrom and Anders Eriksson having ice cream on the road the night before games all the time. And towards the end, you were asking them on every road trip, Homer, how's the ice cream in this hotel? So we had a lot of fun. But the most fun I had with stories is when Ken Holland told me a day of a game in the playoffs against St. Louis, Kenny came up and asked you how you're doing. And you started off rambling how you would match up against the opponent's lines. You had all the lines, but 7-8 minutes into the game, you had it all figured out. So that was very impressive as you were handling the coaching duties. Sorry we couldn't be there in person tonight, Scotty. But I'd like to thank the Jamie Daniels Foundation. Thanks for all the great work you're doing. I'd like to thank all the people watching this as well. And please donate to the Jamie Daniels Foundation. Take care.
Welcome back. And yes, indeed, that was the nearly perfect human Nick Lidstrom, receiving a 2-minute penalty for swearing. It's no wonder he never won the Lady Byng Trophy. Scotty Bowman, too, was almost perfect. He never won a Stanley Cup with Buffalo, but he did win 14 cups elsewhere, in Detroit, of course, and in a place called Montreal. And as I stand here in the Canadiens dressing room at the Hockey Hall of Fame and look at these names and numbers and think of the players who wore them, I ask, how tough was it to win 4 straight Stanley Cups in the late 1970s? I'm not sure. Neither is the guy from the newsroom.
The first time I met Scotty Bowman was the only time I've met Scotty Bowman. I don't think he'll remember. I know I'll never forget it. It was in Anaheim, 2001, 2002. The Red Wings were playing the Mighty Ducks. I think it was a playoff game. Joe Koser, who's a friend of mine, was Scotty's video coach at that time. And went to the game. Joey said, come on down afterwards. So I went down to the locker room afterwards, and I'm standing outside the Red Wing locker room, and there's Joey and me and Scotty Bowman. And Scotty's just looking at a television set, the video playback from the game. And Joey's standing there, and Joey said, Scotty, do you mind if I get a couple of cases of beer for the guys? We got a travel day tomorrow, so, we'll just hang around the hotel lounge, but be all right with you? And Scotty looked away from the video, and he looked at Joey, and then he was about to answer, and then he looked at me. And he did one of these. He said, who's that? Joey said to Jeff Daniels, he's a friend of mine, actor. And Scotty said, yeah, you can get the beer. Then he went back to watching his video. Like I said, I know I'll never forget it.
And now we begin with Roasters Dennis Hull and 2 real comedians, Ian Bagg and Jerry D. At the end, you guys will be tempted to remind everybody it was all in fun and you didn't really mean any of the nasty stuff. Ignore that temptation. If you love him, which means you never played for him, tell him tomorrow. Very early in my Hockey Night in Canada days, I had an intimidating pregame chat with Scotty at Maple Leaf Gardens. He said, to me, the Hewitts and McFarland, Goldham and Meeker, they all cheer for the Leafs and it drives me nuts. But I sense you might be different. You might not be so biased. Am I right? And I said, put it this way, Scotty, I was born in Montreal. And he said, I knew it. You cheer for us. And I said, I don't cheer for anybody, Scotty. I just hope for a good telecast. And he walked away muttering, maybe you'll have one when the Leafs are out and you get to work with Dick and Danny in the playoffs. Folks, take the opportunity to view the Stanley Cup up close at the Hockey Hall of Fame. Read all those names, hundreds of them who won Stanley Cups with Scotty in Montreal, Pittsburgh, and Detroit. All those names so delicately decorating the Stanley Cup. And those are all the people who were asked to host this event and said no. Even the engraver. You don't want to know how far down the list of roasties you were, Scotty. Speaking of Stanley Cup, the Montreal ones are there a lot. Everybody in the NHL knows, and you have to admit, Scotty, those Montreal teams would have won with a paperboy behind the bench. But the job you did in Detroit was truly amazing. It was different. They didn't give you much to work with. I mean, sure, you had Chris Chelios and Larry Murphy on defense, Slava Fetisov, and I should not forget Nick Lidstrom, Pavel Datsyuk, and Brendan Shanahan. Pretty thin, unless you want to count Sergei Fedorov and Brett Hull, or Igor Larionov and maybe Luke Robitaille. You're right, I've forgotten Steve Yzerman. But let's face it, no one else could have taken that group and won a damn thing. Everybody remembers when you put your skates on to celebrate the Stanley Cup win with the guys on the ice. It was rather embarrassing, Scotty. It was obvious you couldn't skate as well as the players. Now, last season in Detroit, perhaps. So get ready. These guys will take their shots later in the show.
Hey everybody out there, Jack Nicklaus here. You know, Any donation tonight is so important for the Jamie Daniels Foundation and all the work they're doing to end the stigma surrounding substance use disorder. And, you know, I guess we're here to talk about Scotty Bowman and those Detroit Red Legs that he used to coach. You know, I'm a big hockey fan, and Scotty, I know you guys were over there in the dugout, and when you guys all those guys out there in the center of this field, and you had two guys hitting a tee shot at each other. You know, I never know which direction you guys were trying to hit it, and then they start chasing it around. You guys are out there running around on this single spike. You know, in my sport, you know, we have 8 or 9 spikes on each shoe. You get a lot more traction. You ought to try that sometime. And of course, you know, they're out there and they're bumping each other and they get all this equipment on, and then they get mad at each other, and then they take that helmet off so they can hit each other in the head. That makes a lot of sense. Boy, I take it, that's really smart. Anyway, they go down there and then they hit all those hook shots, and then they hit those little slices, and they hit those pitch shots up in the air, and they're trying to get it through those goalposts down there. And you know, you got that guy in front of the goalpost with all that stuff on, and you know, I don't know what you call him, but we would call him, you know, maybe a cup keeper. You know, our cup is much smaller than that big old thing that you guys hit at. But anyway, I know you have a lot of fun out there, and I know you had a lot of years of trying to tell those guys how to get that little ball that you play with into that small cup at the end of the court. And you know, you can tell I'm a real hockey fan, and I really love every bit of it. But seriously, Scotty, you had a great career. You were the best, and your Red Wings were always great. We always enjoyed watching them, and you know, I know you're going to have a lot of people going to have a lot of fun in there tonight with you, and so have fun. And hey, my friend, enjoy it. I do know a little more about hockey than that.
1997, which was quite a year for Detroit, that John Davidson and I were covering a game for Fox in April, and we were in the coach's office at Joe Louis Arena the day of the game, but we were there the day before for practice. The coach was not. John Davidson politely asked, "Where were you yesterday?" Here's a clue to the answer. The coach smiled and said, "I always try to take in the Masters every year." And he talked glowingly about a player named Tiger Woods, who in 1997 was on his way to his first ever Masters title. And the Red Wings were on their way to a first in 42 years Stanley Cup championship. Now the Masters has been postponed to November 12th, and I imagine that on November 12th, somewhere looking out across the green, with a smile on his face, will be William Scott Bowman, and probably forgetting the fact that 23 years ago, on a certain April, he missed practice.
I always come back to him. I'm like, he's my greatest miracle. I'm so grateful that I wasn't afraid of this.
The start of something. This could be how it begins.
She's been the joy of my life. She always will be. You can give up, or you can fight for your person. I'm not going to give up.
You see the light, then you discover life.
I don't think there's anything else I could ask for in a brother.
I don't think I'd be sober today without her. Actually, I know I wouldn't.
There's so much that we could learn to be. This could be the start of something. This could be how it begins.
For those suffering with substance use disorder and mental health conditions, these times of the coronavirus pandemic has created further obstacles.
Stress from uncertainty, boredom from isolation, and interruption of routine has triggered an increase in overdoses and relapses, as reported by the American Medical Association.
To help address and prevent these issues, Jamie Daniels Foundation created a COVID-19 Emergency Relief Fund.
Since March, more than $30,000 has been granted to community organizations who are using funds to provide resources and support to those struggling.
Emergency funding has assisted numerous individuals in recovery to maintain rent at sober living homes so they may have an essential support system through uncertain times.
The Relief Fund has also facilitated teletherapy for countless adolescents in foster care struggling with sobriety, and in many of these cases, enabled breakthroughs essential to long-term sobriety.
It is through your generosity that Jamie Daniels Foundation can provide life-changing support to those struggling during times when it is most needed.
Thank you, Ken and Lisa. Bless you both. As if there needed to be another reason to stress the importance of this cause, COVID-19 is obviously that reason. It tests our patience. It requires our ability to adjust to a different, difficult, more restricted lifestyle. That produces stress and can lead to wrong and dangerously apparent solutions. They can lead to their own death list. More than 70,000 Americans have died of overdoses in 2020 alone. So your support is essential. One of the best ways is to contribute to jamiedanielsfoundation.org. We thank you for all you can give, for anything you can give now and in the future.
A lot of people know more about what's been going on around the world, and especially in the US with the epidemic. It's talked about more than it used to be, so I think that's really helping saving lives. But addiction isn't a choice, it's what happens. It's a disease and you can't control it. So I think that's the biggest misconception with it, and that it's okay to ask for help and it's okay to want to get better.
I remember Arlen when she moved here. She was 1 year old, and Jamie was 4 in 1997. We lost Jamie all too early at 23, and he tried but was victimized. So I hope people will donate tonight so we can end this stigma surrounding substance abuse disorder and educate to keep people safe. Now to Scotty Bowman. I will never forget. I've known Scotty since 1964 when I was a stick boy. One day in Detroit, he came down the hall with that head up in the air, walking right by everybody like they weren't there. An intern said, "Boy, that's Scotty Bowman. He's a weird cat." And I said, "Really? He's much better than he used to be." But for sure, that's what made Scotty so great. When he was on a mission, boy, there was nothing to stop him. Way to go, Scotty. Your ability to change along the way made you the greatest coach ever. God bless you, man. Have a great night.
Every donation supporting jamiedanielsfoundation.org of at least $100, we will send you a pair of unique Steve Yzerman Major League socks. And while on the site, be sure to bid on more than 60 terrific items, including a fishing trip to Alaska and a one-week stay in Costa Rica with private house and your own chef. Bid on both and he'll cook your fish from Alaska. Why is it so difficult for those addicted to drugs to stop? The brain won't allow it. It is mental illness, as the circuits that mediate the cognition are altered. It makes the ability to say no so difficult, as the brain fights the process of withdrawal and detox due to the sickness that will follow.
Predators on it. Left wing side and into the goal. Hasek with a big stop there.
I would like to congratulate the Jamie Daniels Foundation for all the wonderful work they are doing in fighting addiction and ask you to please donate. And now to my former coach, Scotty Bowman. Scotty, you are the best.
When I went to St. Louis, I didn't realize he was the only coach that I ever played for that really talked about keeping the puck out of your net. And it was just like scoring a goal. All the other coaches thought, well, we got to score another goal. And Scotty felt, well, keeping the puck out of your net was just like scoring another one. So he was great.
Our first actual roaster is Jerry D., who used to be a school teacher. You know the expression, those who can do, those who can't teach. Well, if you can't teach, you become a comedian, a TV star, and pretend you feel sorry for the teachers. Here's the host of Family Feud Canada. Take it away, Jerry D.
All right, Scotty, I'm going to put 20 seconds on the clock. You're going to give me the best answer you can in 20 seconds for each of these questions, and we'll see how well you do. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. You look excited. What is the first piece of equipment that a hockey player puts on before a game?
Underwear.
Name a trophy handed out at the NHL awards.
The Jack Adams Award.
Name an occupation that hockey enthusiasts might do if their NHL playing career doesn't work out?
Referee or linesman?
Name a player that liked you.
Doug Jarvis.
Name a referee that liked you.
Bill McCreary.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let's go through your answers, Scotty. First piece of equipment that a hockey player puts on. You said underwear. No, nobody said that. Nobody thought that was equipment. So 0 points for that. Scotty, a little break in the action here. What do you do for fun now? What does Scotty Bowman do for fun?
Watch games.
All right, back to hockey. Name a trophy handed out at the NHL awards. You said Jack Adams. The number one answer was the Stanley Cup, then the Hart, and then the Vezina. Nobody said Jack Adams, sorry. An occupation that hockey enthusiasts might do if their NHL playing career doesn't work out. The number one answer was coach. But you said referee or linesman. You didn't say, why didn't you say coach when that's what you did?
Because more people are going to be into refereeing and linesmen now.
Okay, coaching seems to have been a good career for some people. I said name a player that liked you. You quickly said Doug Jarvis. How did his name come to mind? Of the 6 or 7 that answers you could have had.
Because I gave him a good opportunity in the NHL and he produced very well with it.
Okay, and Bill McCreary liked you. What gives you that impression?
Bill McCreary.
What gives you that
I know
impression
for
that
a
he
fact.
liked you? He one day came up to you and said,
No,
said,
he
Scotty,
didn't.
I like you. But in all seriousness, congrats. It's an honor to get to chat to you, and you're a legend. Not many people might have loved you, but I'm sure a lot more liked you than we're giving you credit for. But congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Tonight, Scotty Bowman, absolute honor and a pleasure. What can I say? This is the man that gave me an NHL career through thick and thin, ups and downs. I just want to say thank you. Finally getting it. But the one thing about Scotty is, I'll say this, my Hall of Fame moment, and you will remember this, and I wanted to say, if I'm your second favorite right winger to ever play for you next to Guy Lafleur, I'm not mad, Scotty. I am not mad. I am just honored to have been a cog in the wheel. Thank you for everything you've done for me and my family, my kids, everything. I love you, Scotty. Have a great day and enjoy your roast. D-Mac out.
One of the reasons playing for Scott Bowman was so memorable, he gave you a reason, another great story every time you left the rink. There are literally dozens of them. One of them sticks in my mind, and you'll understand why for obvious reasons. Just got traded to the team, 95 at the trade deadline. This was the lockout shortened year. I'm spending long hours at the rink, trying to impress my new bench boss. I'm in the fitness room late after practice. There's nobody else in the building at this point. I've got my head buried. I'm on the stationary bike, got a real solid lather going. All of a sudden, I look up, standing inches from the front of the bike is Scotty Bowman. I lift my head up, I look at Scotty. He's got shaving cream on, flip-flops on, just came from the sauna. So he's been in the sauna for the last little while and he's shaving. So he'd scrape his face and he'd talk to me in between scraping his face. Stewie, we've got to move our forecheck up and to the left. No question about it. The forecheck's got to go up, it's got to go to the left. This is a perfectly natural conversation to have with your head coach, with one exception. The man is standing in front of me, stark naked. He's got shaving cream on, he's got a pair of flip-flops on, that's all he's got on. Stark naked, forecheck up to the left. You get the idea. I am biting my lip to keep from laughing at this man. For that reason, that's just one that is etched in my mind forever.
Still to come, a special performance from a fully clothed Stephen Page, singing a song so appropriate, Looking for the Light.
Looking for the light.
Well, when you talk about Scotty Bowman, we all go back a long ways with Scotty. When he was coaching the Blues, he was younger than several of the players, but there was no question who the leader of the team was. But I remember one night we were playing Montreal and we didn't get off to a good start. And between periods, he went after Terry Crisp like nobody's business. And Crispy he was doing this and that, and should have done this and should have done that. As it turned out, Crisp hadn't even been on the ice. But who he was getting at was me, and I knew that. And Crispy's sitting there with his head down, and he's looking over at me, and I had my head down, and I'm looking over at him, and we all knew the message was for me. And anyway, we got it going that game, but it was interesting how Scotty got his message across to different players. I just read his book, written by Ken Dryden, and Dryden did a great job of giving a lot of the history of Scotty, and it's a great insight into Scotty Bowman. If you haven't read that book, it's a great hockey read.
Hi, I'm Stephen Page, and I want to thank you for being with us tonight and for joining the Jamie Daniels Foundation in its quest to build long-term, safe, and affordable housing in Michigan for those in recovery. We must, we can, and we will end the stigma of what is substance abuse disorder. This is a song I wrote for my kids, basically, that says, I've been there, and I'll be there for them. Out here where I'm living, I'm standing on my own. Sometimes it gets lonely, but I know I'm not alone. So set out on your journey, your destiny unknown. Only illumination, there's a shadow to be thrown. Or further down the road you will find, sometimes it's dark, sometimes you'll swear you're blind. I believe we will be alright, as long as you keep on looking for the light. Don't like what you see, but take a step nearer, 'cause you don't have to impress me. You're afraid it's forever, that this pain will never end. But once we're together, you won't feel that way again. Or further down the road you will find, sometimes it's dark, sometimes you'll swear you're blind. I believe we will be alright, as long as you keep on looking for the light. I'm fine with the promise of love. Taking my time for the promise of love. I made up my mind, 'cause the promise is love. Forever and ever, forever and ever. Sometimes woo-hoo-hoo. Or sometimes you swear you're blind. I believe we will be alright, as long as you keep on looking for the light. Further on down the road,
Further on you'll find that sometimes it's dark and sometimes you swear you're blind, but I believe we will be alright as long as you keep on looking for the light. Ooh, 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 ooh. Looking for the light. Never have to go it alone. Keep looking for the light. Keep looking for the light. Looking for the light. Looking for the light. Looking for the light.
Thank you again for joining us for our second annual Celebrity Roast to benefit the Jamie Daniels Foundation. Our family has been left with a huge hole in our hearts since the day our beautiful son Jamie passed away December 7th, 2016. From that tragic day, we have wrapped ourselves in the belief that day would not be the end of Jamie's story. Our hope is that by joining forces with each of you watching tonight, perhaps the story changes in a positive direction for many others.
There is a need for greater access to care and for resources to become more easily available, as well as making life-saving guidance only a call away for families in crisis.
Today, this is not consistently the case. It will take all of us to come together and improve the odds for anyone suffering from the horrible disease of substance use disorder. We are giving you a unique opportunity right here, right now, to consider doing just that. Our need for funding is great, and we are asking for your help.
Remember, your gift will be matched dollar for dollar thanks to several generous sponsors. We'd like to share the ways in which we would appreciate your help and support and guide you through the steps.
Please log on to your website at jamiedanielsfoundation.org. A graphic will appear. From there, click on More Detail. Scroll down and click on Make a Gift. Once you select that link, you will have two options, either to make a one-time donation or to join the Multi-Year Giving Society. For a one-time gift, please click on Make a Donation.
For the Multi-Year Giving Society, there are several gift level options to choose from. A contribution of $1,000 a year for 5 years is our youth giving level. This will support students each year for 5 years to ensure these young people on and off campuses receive important support and recovery services. A pledge of $1,000 is $83 per month.
For those who are capable of doing more, we ask you to consider our team giving level. By giving $10,000 a year for the next 5 years, your gift will have a tenfold impact on the number of students and youth supported.
There is opportunity to make a multi-year gift at any amount you are able to give and for any length of time you choose. Whatever amount you can give, we truly appreciate your support. It may be the difference in how an otherwise tragic story ends.
With your contribution tonight, you may be the lifeline needed to help a young person overcome this ruthless disease. We hope you enjoy being a part of our very special event, and whatever made you tune in tonight, we are so glad to have you with us.
On behalf of our families, thank you for your care, concern, and support.
What is Hope Not Handcuffs? It's an initiative of Families Against Narcotics. It is aimed at uniting law enforcement with community organizations. A person struggling with addiction can arrive at any participating police station and be guided through a brief intake process rather than incarceration to ensure proper treatment placement. Call 833-202-HOPE, H-O-P-E.
Greetings. No matter where you live, no matter your business, and no matter your income, the opioids crisis affects you. The widespread misuse of these lethal drugs, the ignorance about their addictive nature, and the predatory practices of some medical professionals undermine families, cost businesses, and take a toll on our communities. Families are the fabric of a community, and every victim of this scourge is someone's child, even if they're an adult. If you are, or if you have ever known a parent fighting to save a child who is addicted to drugs, you understand the feelings of powerlessness, panic, shame, and loneliness. It is all-consuming. No one should have to go through that. Delta Dental is committed to building healthy, smart, vibrant communities so that our customers and their employees can succeed. That's why we are engaging our members, our customers, our providers, and the general public in prevention strategies. Dentists have to be part of the solution. And that's why we are proud to be the presenting sponsor of tonight's Celebrity Roast to benefit the Jamie Daniels Foundation. We applaud Ken Daniels and Lisa Daniels Goldman for turning the tragic loss of their son into a movement for change. Indeed, one life lost to addiction is one life too many.
There is a lot of stigma when it comes to substance abuse in the community, and we have been losing a lot of young children to substance abuse. So that's why it was very important to start a program and provide prevention education at a young age, because prevention is key. And the support that we received from the Jamie Daniels Foundation had allowed us the opportunity to do so.
So 90% of all alcohol and other drug problems start between the ages of 12 and 20. We know that when students come here, they're in that prime age of when an alcohol and other drug problem will start. So recovery housing offers a safe and supportive living environment where students can have a real college experience without the use of alcohol or drugs. Thank you to the Jamie Daniels Foundation for supporting not only the CRC, but also our recovery housing. It has allowed us to offer many resources to students. And with that being said, we have been given the opportunity to support our students continuously in their space of recovery.
Bidding is now open at jamiedanielsfoundation.org and live until noon Eastern tomorrow, October 15th. You may simply make a donation or bid on celebrity golf opportunities, stay and play packages, unique travel experiences, and a variety of sports memorabilia.
When my dad started as the voice of the St. Louis Blues, when they popped up as an expansion team, taking over shortly after that season started was a young, mid-30s Scotty Bowman. Little did my dad know what kind of greatness he was around, but there just simply is nobody better to ever do it. As a head coach of the National Hockey League, he is on the Mount Rushmore for head coaches in any sport at any level. So it's an honor. And I speak on behalf of my dad, Jack Buck, when I say to the great Scotty Bowman, congrats.
I am not a collector of things, but what I have here is a 1997 Fox Trax puck. Fox, the company that brought you and the NHL the glowing puck. No sooner did we bring these pucks out that a certain NHL coach decided that these pucks bounced more than regular NHL pucks. Now, Fox had already committed $1 million to our truck. And now we had to commit more money to little refrigerators so that the pucks could be adequately stored and the right temperature so that that coach would no longer complain that our pucks bounced too much. Mr. Bowman.
Hi everybody. What to say about Scotty? Imagine having the chance to talk with Scotty once, maybe twice a week for about an hour and a half each time for around 2 years about hockey. About hockey in the 1940s and right up through to the present. About the best and worst teams and the best and worst players. And with somebody who has been there, really there, up close all of that time. And to hear what he has to say. And someone who has never been, who's somebody who's never really gotten old, because he sees things always with fresh eyes Every next game includes something that he might not have seen before, so he's watching. He has never been a been there, done that person. Every new game offers possibilities to see and to learn. All of us here have really received more than our due over time. We've been lucky enough to realize that, in fact, the longer we don't play, the better we get. But with Scotty is truly great. And what's really nice about now is that he is beginning to actually get his proper due. So Scotty, congratulations and thanks.
Scotty Bowman, maybe the greatest hockey coach of all time. I had the pleasure when I was manager of the Pittsburgh Pirates back in the 90s. Scotty actually won the Stanley Cup with the Penguins. So I was a little familiar with Scotty. Went to a Dapper Dan dinner with him in Pittsburgh. Very, very enjoyable. Later on in life, came to my locker room at Detroit when I was managing the Tigers. Big baseball fan, Scotty Bowman. But truly one of the great, great hockey coaches in the history of the game. His record speaks for itself. Have a wonderful night, Scotty. Thinking about you. Hope I run into you and hope we cross paths again. Congratulations on an unbelievable career.
I was asked to do a big profile piece with Scotty, and so we went to a Tigers game to do it, where we would have a leisurely conversation. And while we were talking, Scotty kept like fingering his ring, kind of like what I'm doing here, you know, just kept fingering his ring, and all of a sudden he dropped it, and it fell under the seats, and without missing a beat, Scotty Bowman, revered Hall of Fame hockey coach, about to take another team to a Stanley Cup final, got down on his knees and started rooting around under people's feet and saying, hey, you see my ring? My ring rolled over here. And a couple of people got down with them. And next thing we know, we're all on the floor of Comerica Park. We're all on the ground, under the seats, searching for Scotty Bowman's Hall of Fame ring. And finally, somebody found it. He put it on, he put it back on, and he just sat back down and kept talking. There was no recognition of this being anything unusual whatsoever. This was just another day with Scotty Bowman.
Our next roster is Dennis Hull, whose NHL career ended in 1978, and he was smart enough to know that he needed to do something with the rest of his life. So he became an after-dinner speaker, one might say a comedian, but he still has trouble with the idea that somebody else is supposed to laugh at his jokes. Here he gets another chance to try. Dennis?
Thank you very much, whoever you are. Jerry, I hope you get a career soon. That was very, very bad. I'd rather have my appendix taken out by a wild
Thanks,
boar.
Dennis. I can't wait.
You're welcome. Shut up, it's my turn. Scotty, if this was really somebody famous, my nephew Brett would be here. And if it was someone just half famous, my brother Bobby would be here. But since you're just an ordinary jerk, it's me. But anyway, it's easy to roast somebody who's already half-baked. And I know I just joined the Boys and Girls Club, and every Sunday Scotty takes me for a walk. He says if I'm a good boy, he might take me to the zoo. But anyway, I come from a hockey family, as you probably know, and Bobby was just voted the best left winger in the first 100 years of the NHL. And if you watch hockey in the most recent past, you know my nephew Brett was pretty good, and Scotty thinks that he was probably better than Bobby. But that's the good news. The bad news is I'm the third best of that group. Actually would have been fourth best, but they wouldn't let my sister Maxine play. She ended up being a hooker outside the Montreal Forum. And as Scotty always said, she had a chance of scoring there than you did. Good luck, Scotty, and thanks for having me.
Thanks.
We're moving along now to our next roaster, Ian Bagg. All I know about him is that they named a skate after him. A bag is punishment. So might this be. Here's comedian Ian Bagg.
Thank you, Dave. I know a lot about you. I know that you have horrible internet because you froze as you were slamming me. So that was awesome. Thank you for being here. Scotty, thank you for having me on your roast. Just to let you know, last year I did a roast for Don Cherry and another roast for Mike Babcock. And those two just went on to big things last year. So get ready to be taken down for the rest of your life. Oh my goodness, I apologize to both those guys. I had no idea I was going to screw things up so bad. I apologize. This is awesome. Scotty Bowman's like the Canadian version of Bill Belichick. So this is awesome. Just angry, and a microwave too tall to put anything into. Are we in your kitchen, Scotty?
Not really. The kitchen's behind me.
That's not your kitchen. You have a microwave somewhere other than your kitchen. I love this. That's how rich you are. That's how many Stanley Cups you've won. You've been able to put a microwave wherever the hell you feel like it. That is awesome. What a great night. My God. This is a very white male event too, by the way. This is more, I said this, I did a roast last year for Ken, and it seemed the same way. It seems more of a prostate benefit than anything else. We're all that age. We all should get a finger in the butt after this, and it feels like a finger in the butt having to do this via Zoom. My God. Usually I talk to my parents like this. So you're apparently the best hockey mind of all times. Did you know that, Scotty? According to the internet, you're the best hockey mind of all times. My God. What's that like, just knowing that you can't do anything else?
I don't believe it.
That's the laugh I expected to get right there. Just a huge monster laugh from Scotty, not impressed. And Dennis Hall just mad down there, just angry as hell because he's the third best player in his family. He's just pissed right off. It's not even, he's got jerseys on the wall. They're not even his. That's hilarious. That's awesome. He's got his brothers and his nephew's jersey on the wall, and their sticks. My God. I love it. That's a hell of a way to do it. What's that?
Team Canada 72.
Canada 72.
Yeah. Scotty wasn't there. We had a good coach.
Scotty wasn't the coach of that? Scotty wasn't the coach of the 72 Canadian?
No, we had the coach from Boston.
Oh, Scotty looked exactly the same in that 72 when he didn't get to coach. He hasn't aged at all. That's perfect. I love the way he gets it. Get into your 80s when you're 30 and just ride it from there. That's a hell of a way to go. I love it. A lot of people just like get disappointed as they age. Scotty's like, I'm done right here. Just take me down. Get me my Lang skates so I can go for a whip around the ice. Oh my God. Those ski boots. Were they Micron? Whatever. The fact that you're the biggest hockey mind ever and those were the skates you wore, everybody's like, what the hell? It's just, he wore the ankle breakers. Oh my God. This is the toughest $5,000 I've ever made. I'm going to be honest with you. And I'm just saying that because I want Dennis to snap and how come Bag's getting 5,000? This is BS. I'm not getting
American.
I'll send my brother and my nephew over to your house and take it right off you, Ken. Oh my God. Here we go. I'm excited for Dave Hodge to be here. I'm pretty sure he won't be at the end, but I'm excited that he's here right now. That's awesome. Yeah, that's it. That's the exact laughter I expected to get from Dave Hodge. My God, just I loved it. I used to watch you on TV. I was like, I bet you he'd be fun to hang with. And then I got to and I was wrong. Yeah, that's exactly right. There's my Dave Hodge right there. And then Canada's Steve Harvey on the other side of I love it. Jerry, congratulations on your career. That is awesome. You did Last Comic Standing, and then you went back to Canada and made 1/3 of the money you could have in America. Good for you. Good move. My goodness. That was almost like Scotty taking over Buffalo. Remember that, Mr. Bowman, when you thought you could change Buffalo? Remember that? When you thought you could turn it into a winning city, and then 6 months later, you just drove away from a burning carcass in the bush, otherwise known as Buffalo? Oh, my God. Do you think they should even be in the league still?
And I'm still here. I live here.
You still live in Buffalo?
Yeah.
My God. What? Oh, Scotty proving the point. Don't where you eat. Scotty, thank you so much for having me on this roast. Next year, let's do it when there's not a pandemic. That would be way more fun rather than everybody having to be in their living rooms. That'd be way more fun if we could meet each other face to face. I'm talking to you, Dave Hodge. I'll take you down next time I see you, you son of a...
What role do prescription medications play with regard to addiction? More than 75% of all addicts succumb to addiction from a legal prescription written for a sports injury, a pulled wisdom tooth, surgery, or ordinary pain relief. 90% of those addicted started opioids prior to the age of 18.
Thank you to the Jamie Daniels Foundation as it continues the important work of trying to end the stigma that surrounds the epidemic of substance use disorder. Addicts don't want to be addicts. After a short time of even using a doctor's prescribed medication, the chemical receptors in the brain can change. Don't leave prescription opioids in your home. Please be careful about what you're taking. This disease does not discriminate, and it knows no socioeconomic boundaries.
As we await more laughs, particularly Scotty's remarks, we continue to acknowledge the tears caused by nearly 200 Americans die of an overdose every day. 2.5 million Americans are addicted. Earlier, we saw and heard that the road to recovery is possible, but all too often, the end of the road is not reached.
I've been in conversations where people did not know my situation with my son, and of course I would not really reveal it back then. I was embarrassed about it. I thought I did something wrong. And I could hear the conversation, and as it related to drugs and well, all you got to do is tell your kid not to do heroin and everything will be fine. And I'm thinking, wow, what a simple answer. I wish it was that simple. And it's not. As parents, it's something that you imagine never happening under your roof. But here we are. As Ross started in experimenting just like any young teenager does, and started with marijuana, we did the appropriate things that as parents you think you should do.
In the beginning, when he was younger and we first became, were exposed to all this, we didn't see any of the signs.
Of course, there's the physical signs that I would say towards like the later years we really picked up on. But some of those just little habits that you would notice here and there.
He battled so hard with it. It was terrible. You could just imagine anyone who's addicted, how hard they struggle every single second of every hour of every minute. It's a lifetime, and that's a lot on anybody. And I would have to say, of everything that's happened, we had said from the beginning, we don't want his death to not mean anything, to be in vain.
We reflect back on the good old days, so those are the memories that we keep.
Yep.
We're a strong family, otherwise I don't think we would all be here.
I want to congratulate the Jamie Daniels Foundation and all the wonderful work they're doing around substance use disorder here in Michigan, and say I'm happy to be here to support. My father actually was a psychiatrist. He passed away, unfortunately, but his work that he was doing before he passed, he had a conditional release program in California that was all about a lot of the work that around substance use disorder, and so this work is near and dear to my heart. And so all of you all that are supporting the Jamie Daniels Foundation, thank you for that. It's so needed and it's so important.
To Scotty Bowman, what a coach, and what an inspiration to so many, myself not included. I actually have never heard of him. I've sent great information, lots of cups, nice. He's eaten lots of wings. Hockey, it doesn't specify what kind of hockey. I'm assuming it maybe isn't the one that's on grass as we do over here, so maybe he's really, really great at getting people to elegantly glide around and, beautiful. Great work, Scotty. Also, ice is much more dangerous than grass, so that's very impressive too. In all honesty, I've been working a lot in Vancouver, and so my team is the Canucks, and my friend told me that I had to be really, really mean to Scotty, and that was my best British attempt at doing so. But the more I learn about the game, I will always have a begrudging admiration for Scotty and everything that he accomplished. So thank you, and thank you for being a part of this very special event.
Scotty arrived in '93, agreed to come to Detroit. We had a very good offensive team. We had a team that could score goals. It was exceptionally good in the regular season, but would really get shut down in come playoff time. And we brought Scotty in. He did a masterful job of coaching, but what people don't understand unless you're with the organization is he really guided us management people into the things that we needed to do in order to get us over the hump.
Mike was concerned about his coaching situation for the Wings, and he had a chance to get Scotty Bowman, and he asked me, he said, you played with him and coached with him. What do you think? And I said, it's very simple. Hire Scotty Bowman and you will win. And more than that, he'll get the most out of your best players. He'll get the most out of your lesser or the bottom half of your team. You won't always like him, but he would be the coach I would choose for the Red Wings. And I guess that turned out pretty well.
It's a family joke about Scotty and his stories. And he said, it's not that he never finishes a story. He always does. It just might take a couple of weeks. And again, it's worth a couple of weeks.
Well, now we hear from Scotty Bowman himself, two-time winner of the NHL's Coach of the Year award. No one has won more. Oh, wait a minute. Pat Burns won 3. Anyway, Scotty, it is your turn. But remember, we're all free agents. We're not the least bit afraid of you. Give it your best shot.
Well, I talked to Ken Daniels this morning, and I had to do some research, and I said, Ken, is there any chance you can get a couple of comedians that won something? And he said, what do you mean? I said, well, I feel a little connected with Jerry D. My parents were also from Scotland, but then I started reading about him. Placed 3rd or 5th in the last comic standing, and then he said he also tried out for the last comic, and in the 2nd and 4th seasons. Now, tried out. I thought he was a player, but we had a lot of players that tried out, so that's what I was concerned about. And then I said, Ian Bagg, another finalist. A finalist to me was always a first loser. And I said, Ken, is there any chance to get any winners now the next time you do this roast? And he said, well, that's the best we could do for the budget we had. But Dave, you go back a long time, and I'm a big baseball fan, and I follow baseball a lot. And of course, everybody knows Babe Ruth and the curse that Babe Ruth put on baseball and the Boston Red Sox. And I just looked up your bio again today, and I couldn't believe this. I saw Brian Williams Media Award, and I didn't know what that was for. And then I started figuring, well, maybe it's for teams that never won the Stanley Cup. And I said, well, there's got to be a few of them. Then I looked up Dave Hodge, and it said he was an announcer with the Buffalo Sabres. He started with the Buffalo Sabres. He only lasted a year. They didn't want him. And then I guess he went to Hockey Night in Canada, and Dave hated pencils, and he threw one day, And then he started and he went to Vancouver, another team that got in the league in 1970. So that's 50 years for Buffalo, 50 years for Vancouver. And then somewhere at the end, he sort of snuck out of the hockey night and he went to the Minnesota North Stars. And I mean, there's another team. He's with Buffalo, Vancouver, Minnesota, and what a curse he put on those teams, even though he won the Brian Williams Media Award. And now the last one, of course, Dennis Hull. We go back a long time. I coached the Peterborough Petes in 1960-61, and a young guy started to play for St. Catharines. And I got to know Dennis and Bobby and their father. He'd come in from near Belleville and, before the game, and he was talking to me about this 16-year-old. He said, he's okay. He said, I think he'll be a good junior. I don't know if, he said, he's not like Robert Marvin, not like him at all. He's only a kid though, he's only 16. And then I started reading stuff about Dennis, and I was shocked. I mean, actually, he did play 4 games out of the 8. So Harry must have saw something in him. He played 4 and he sat him out 4. I guess he bounced Vic Hadfield out of the with the goal a game line, and he got 2 goals in 4 games. So I gave him credit for that. But what really struck me about Dennis, he really disgraced a jersey that's iconic with the Detroit Red Wings. He was very fortunate. He wore number 19 for the Detroit Red Wings. And everybody knows who number 19 was, Steve Yzerman. And Dennis Hull wore that jersey. I don't know how many games. I think it was around 50. It was his swan song in the league. He did score, though. He scored 5 goals. So that is what I got out of this roast. And Dave and Ian and Jerry and Dennis, I hope we did as good enough a job. I wish we could have been there in person.
Wikipedia, Scotty.
Thanks very much.
Your material had to come from somewhere. It is my time for thank yous to the roasters, to all the participants, and to you for watching, participating, and donating. The silent auction remains open until noon tomorrow. We hope to see all of you in person next year at Motor City Casino, Detroit. For now, be well, take care, think of others. So long from the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto.
Scotty, I know you've been the subject of a lot of stories tonight, but I just wanted to wish you the best and say thank you for the positive influence you had on all of us and for the incredible memories that we all share together now, having won 3 Stanley Cups together with you as our head coach in Detroit. So all the best to you, and thank you to everybody who donated to the Jamie Daniels Foundation. Appreciate your contributions very much. Thank you.
Scotty, this is truly a great night for you. Very well deserved. You're a great man, great family man, and truly deserve to be honored in any way. You've lasted a long time, and I get to see you every once in a while here in Tampa, and I hope I'm like you. You just don't seem to age.
I want to thank everyone for inviting me to be part of the Jamie Daniels evening, and to the Daniels family, thank you so much. I know you're honoring a great icon in Scotty Bowman, and I started to think what I could say. How many wins did he have in the regular season? How many wins did he have in the playoffs? How many Stanley Cups did he win? And I couldn't figure it out, so I just decided to say the most, and the most.
Hi everybody, Dick Vitale of ESPN. Wow, I'm so proud to be able to share a few words here tonight at the Jamie Daniels Foundation. I think you're doing an amazing job, all of you, helping people in need. But let me tell you this, what a job honoring Scotty Bowman. They don't come any better. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? Scotty Bowman, that is a superstar as you can get. You talk about a winner. He's been a winner in the game of life, and he certainly was a winner when he was on that bench with the Red Wings. What a winner. Man, I wish I had some of your luck, man. I wish I would have got the Ziggy from the Pistons. Scotty, you are awesome, baby, with a capital A.